Welcome back to my channel. My name is Shania, but I use the pen name Shanspear here on YouTube. Who really cares? That doesn't matter. I need to tell you something. One, here's my Halloween costume. Made it myself. I'm Baby Doll from the movie Sucker Punch, a movie about community and friendship and nothing bad at all happens. Oscar Isaac's in it, but he's playing a horrible person. BTW, I filmed the entire process of sewing this and that'll be up on my second channel come November. Don't ask me what day. Number 2, there is a growing darkness within me. I hate to sound dramatic, but I think I'm losing passion in my work. I can't tell if it's just because I'm depressed or if my own standards are starting to drain me, but my job is starting to feel like an actual job. It feels like I'm clocking into a 9 to 5 every Monday and I want to fight my supervisor in the parking lot after my lunch break. I'm generally known for like long, elaborate, and hopefully highly produced videos, but I can't take it anymore. And the algorithm says it's going to drag me out back and shoot me if I don't post more than once a month. I'm going to try something a little different. I'm going to try posting bi-monthly, and the first video of the month will be my usual poetic chaos, costumes, set designs, the whole shebang. The second video of the month will be me and my 2 brain cells fighting for our lives. I'm going to scale back on the theatrics and research for these and treat them more like an ordinary commentary video. Hopefully this alteration will help spark joy in my job again and I can continue making engaging content for you. What?
Why are we not talking about TikTok yet?
Oh, well, I thought I was just talking about something that—
You have a 46 audience retention rate for this video. If you don't cut to the chase in the next 5 seconds, we're nuking you, the channel, and the dog.
I don't have a dog!
We'll find one.
So the streets are saying TikTok is ruining the media industry. For those that don't know, TikTok is a video sharing platform that originally started with a 15-second recording limit. It features all sorts of wacky things, from serial killer thirst traps to videos of dudes with 401ks grinding on their beanbag chairs.
What would you do if I was your server and after you ordered your food, we made eye contact and I asked you slowly, is there anything else I could get you?
Lucky for me, none of that shows up on my For You page because I'm normal, and also the app was originally released to the Chinese market in 2016 under the name Douyin and didn't hit international markets until 2017 and 18 especially. Since then, it's been accused of 18 war crimes, 14 acts of treason, poisoning the water supply, burning the crops, and delivering a plague upon our houses.
He did? No, but are we just gonna wait around until he does?
The first big critique is the potential of TikTok addiction, seeing as how a majority of its demographic open the app daily and spend upwards of 1 hour and 30 minutes on it per session, which sounds pretty vanilla, but on average, TikTok users open the app 17 times across the span of a day. So TikTok has tried to combat this problem by essentially rolling out curfews for their younger audiences and implementing reminders throughout the app for its users to take a break from scrolling. But be fucking for real. Even if these precautions did help, which I doubt they would, there's also the other 34 crimes tarnishing TikTok's image. Misinformation is a really big critique, which is scary considering a rising number of youth rely on TikTok for news and current events. And the app is constantly brought up in conversations of appropriation, as Black content and trends are taken over by non-Black people who get all of the credit, while Black content creators are allegedly suppressed on the platform. Oh, and it was also threatened with banishment by the former president of the United States unless a very American company brought it out. And there was that silly little revelation by their internal documents that TikTok allegedly suppresses content by people they deem too ugly, too poor, too abnormally shaped, or people that are gay, disabled, or wrinkled for some reason. It's like the boardroom is already full of homophobia and ableism, and someone in the back of the room's like, you know what? Despite all of this, the app is doing extremely well. Drew Harwell describes TikTok as one of the most prominent, discussed, distrusted, technically sophisticated, and geopolitically complicated juggernauts on the internet. In 2019, it was named the 7th most downloaded app of the 2010s and was downloaded more than Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram in 2018 and 2019. As of October 2020, it boasts 20 billion mobile downloads globally and 130 million downloads in the United States alone. This has garnered it $4 billion in ad revenue for the year 2021. And it was visited more times than Google during the same year. TikTok is definitely giving social media a run for its money. When you outperform media elders like Instagram and Facebook, who's really gonna check you? Not like it's hard, but when you have Meta allegedly so sick to their stomach that they launch a campaign against you using a Republican lobbying firm to ruin your reputation, you're causing so much conversation you might as well be Beyonce. You're that bitch. The most important takeaway here is that TikTok's power has an impact on the real world, especially when it comes to specific niches like booktok and musictok. And people are beginning to take notice. My problem with booktok stems from how I believe it's negatively affecting how people engage with literature. If I'm going to be specific, this is in the YA romance realm. More focus is being put on what tropes and aesthetic the story has than the actual story of the book itself. TikTok is accelerating not only the production of clothing, but also audiovisual, literary, musical production. It is even dystopian to think that TikTok users are the ones who will decide what will go viral and what won't. And the media industry has to subordinate itself to please an algorithm by seeking to be the next viral sensation. In the 3 years I've been on the app, I've noticed a change in the music industry's focus. Many artists, whether or not they are active on the app, focus on getting a 15-second clip of their song to go viral. It can be harmless, like Olivia Rodrigo saying that she used a specific note progression and driver's license so that it could go viral on TikTok, to the fiasco that was Sam Smith and Kim Petras' newest song. I won't say that the music industry is ruined, but I can say that it is in a transition period. In the same way the internet or autotune changed music in the 90s and 2000s, social media is having its own effect. Twitter users, on the other hand, are arguing that TikTok is single-handedly bringing down the art industry, from books to music, even to films. The media juggernaut that Harwell boasts about is seemingly annihilating everything in its path. So let's start with booktok.
I'm glad you brung it up because I've been dying to talk about it for a fucking hot minute. First of all,
booktok is a subgenre on the app that primarily gives reviews and recommendations of books. Typically, a certain book or author or genre becomes very popular in the community, and those tend to dominate the discussions for a short while. Colleen Hoover is currently a fan favorite on booktok, which is somehow not true, but also a big understatement. Even with 7 million views under the Colleen Hoover slander hashtag, she has still managed to literally outsell the Bible. You know, the book with Jesus in it. Colleen Hoover's success, in part and in my total opinion, comes from the frenzy surrounding her books on booktok. Believe it or not, booktok actually has a lot of sway in the publishing industry, simply because TikTok has a lot of sway in our personal decisions. According to Drew Harwell, booktok helped make 2021 one of the publishing industry's best sales years ever, and CNN Business agrees. According to data from Bookscan, combined sales from novels promoted through booktok more than doubled in 2021 and grew 6 times faster than the rest of the adult fiction market. With Hoover's success, you can see the correlation. The hashtag Colleen Hoover has over 2 billion views on TikTok, followed by Colleen Hoover Supremacy at 18 million. The numbers speak for themselves in terms of publishing. Yes, even the slander. Because Hoover is 2022's best-selling author, and 4 of her books are in the top 10 bestsellers of the year. This is how booktok works. A decent number of people recommend one book, it becomes a craze, dare I even say a personality, and more people go out to buy the book, driving up sales and cementing Hoover's legacy on her own Barnes & Noble booktok table. Everyone everywhere all the time has got to get their hands on a book that talks about the size of a child's ping pong balls. And everyone everywhere all the time is going to hell for that. But don't take my cynicism as condemnation. Well, I'm condemning the baby ball passage because that's weird. But I'm not condemning BookTok as a whole. Unlike most Twitter contrarians, I don't think BookTok or TikTok itself is tanking anything. Let's start with the most important aspect of the publishing industry, as seen by the people pulling the strings. BookTok is not tanking the book industry when it comes to money. It's not even harming physical book sales the way I thought it would. Maybe this is just 2010 me who saw the impact of the Kindle, but I just assumed everyone on planet Earth would stop buying physical books, especially with the introduction of an app as technologically advanced as TikTok. But Elizabeth A. Harris notes that BookTok aided in the sales of 20 million physical books in the year 2021. In fact, according to Kaylee Bateman, 2021 holds the title for most printed books purchased since tracking began in 2004. So, BookTok and Colleen Hoover by proxy certainly isn't killing the book industry if you're simply looking at money. And trust me, the publishing industry is only looking at money. In terms of BookTok being this evil system leeching originality and depth from literature, I also happen to disagree. To contextualize everything I'm about to say, I want to emphasize that I graduated cum laude with a professional writing degree. I have been writing amateur stories for most of my life and was constantly showered with praise by my creative writing professor for my grand, inimitable talents. I say that humbly. I know what good writing is traditionally defined by. I know the importance of a well-honed piece of writing. But there's this argument that BookTok is ruining literature because all it recommends are YA and half-baked romance books. Valid criticism of Hoover's horrible romance tropes aside, this argument feels like pretentiousness disguised as concern. I know we don't like the E word over here, and I know not every BookTok criticism can be written off as elitist, but I can't ignore that the constant comparison of BookTok to classic literature and the unending bemoaning in our generation's lack of intellectualism when it comes to reading is a bit much. I read a lot of literature at this point in my life, from fan fiction to Meyer to Orwell to Austen, and I haven't read a single bad book, just books that I don't like. I used to fall into this idea that if I didn't personally like something, that made it bad. But as I grow older and as I lean more into creating art for myself and not others, my previous ideas of what makes art good are rapidly changing. Sometimes I'm in the mood to read Oscar Wilde, sometimes I want to sit down and read a 54,000 word PWP slow burn enemies to lovers, minor character death, nothing major, alternate universe fanfiction with Jackson Wang hosting a party for some reason. I mean, guys, I have read Voldemort fanfiction before. Christian Coulson, don't judge me. Therefore, it's clear to see that I don't give a fuck about purity in literature. That doesn't mean you're not allowed to dislike BookTok, by the way. Why would you let my opinion impact you? Are you in love with me or something? You also don't even need to have like a big reason for disliking it. You can just find it annoying and that'll be okay. My argument isn't that we shouldn't critically engage with the things we consume. BookTok has a lot of flaws, like most communities, like most media, because these things don't spawn in a vacuum. They're influenced and guided by your own personal biases. But it's just as easy to say that than it is to make an entire Twitter thread about how BookTok is catalyzing the fall of critical engagement and great literature, and oh no, now that this book is popular on social media, everyone is going to forget about Emily Bronte, you know, the originator of the toxic, abusive love trope. Colleen Hoover's foremother, some may say. Or is that too far? You say I killed you. Haunt me then. With that being said, there are some valid critiques of BookTok that can't be written off as pretentiousness. One involves the very narrow list of voices given an opportunity in the community. I'm not an active member on BookTok, so I can only go off of what I see others say, such as one subscriber who knows how hard it is to find diverse book recommendations on the platform, recommendations that center plus-size people, people of color, and so forth. It seems that a majority of viral books on BookTok come from straight, white, cis women. Read what you want, whatever. I just think that there is a very important duty as a reader and as a human being to fill your life with voices from people unrelated to you. People of different sexualities, races, gender identities, nationalities, and cultures. It would be amazing if BookTok wielded the power it has in the publishing industry to uplift the voices of marginalized authors and characters, but I also don't think that's inherently a BookTok problem. For context, I've been reading since I was a kid. Every time I went out to the bookstore as a kid, I could barely find a single cover with someone who looked like me. I had to do a lot of mental editing while reading first-person narratives, swapping pale skin for brown, boys for... Anyways, of course, representation has changed recently. 2021 was the first time in years I stepped into a bookstore, and when I saw this book, girl, I almost screamed in that Barnes & Noble. The point is, the overabundance of singular voices in the book industry is not a new thing. In fact, a lot of the problems one could associate solely with BookTok have existed long before the app was even conceived. Take, for instance, the claim that Colleen Hoover's alleged abusive storylines are setting us back in romantic narratives. I say alleged because the only Colleen Hoover book I read was Verity, and I wrapped that up as quickly as I could and moved on. Some people argue that Hoover's books especially causes an uptick in abuse masquerading as love in fictional stories, which, you know, very well could be the case. We all saw 50 Shades of Grey. We know the dangers of inspiration. But I would also say that Hoover isn't the first, nor will she be the last author who upholds these tropes. I would even argue that she isn't setting us back in the romance narrative because we never really progressed forward in the first place. The idea of abuse/mistreatment being a sign of love is a deeply ingrained societal problem that not only proliferates our media depictions, but our very realities. It's an idea embedded in our minds from a very young age and fostered through various media as we grow up. This boy picks on you, he pulls your hair, he makes you sad, he hits you at recess. He does it because he likes you and he doesn't know how to express it. This guy hangs off a Ferris wheel one-handed and I'm talking about The Notebook, by the way. This guy hangs off a Ferris wheel one-handed and threatens to drop to his gruesome death unless you agree to go out with him, even after you've said no multiple times. And he does it because he loves you. Colleen Hoover didn't write that. She wrote about the size of babies. What the fuck is that book about, by the way? Like, what led up to them having that conversation? Colleen Hoover is a side product of this societal narrative of love. That doesn't make her a blameless baby incapable of learning, but it also doesn't make her the sole proprietor of poor penmanship practices. Simply pretending like she's this weird anomaly that we haven't seen since 1352 while ignoring the dominating system that continues to spawn works like hers is not going to help in the long run. When Colleen Hoover's books get pushed off the list, you'll still have hundreds, if not thousands, if not millions more like hers. That doesn't mean to stop pointing out the harm that these depictions can cause to younger, maybe more vulnerable or impressionable readers. It just also means to consider casting stones at the overall machine. Play some fucking offense. It's far easier to point out the bullseye attached to a tree than it is to pick the tree up by the roots, but sometimes that's what's necessary to stop it from shedding fruit. Anyways, I didn't mean to talk about BookTok this long, but something possessed me. The goal was to really talk about a larger aspect of TikTok and how it impacts our cultural landscape. Not only does it manifest in the endless discourse surrounding BookTok, but it also sprouts up once or 300 times on musictok as well. Now, when I say musictok, I'm not referring to an actual community that reviews and recommends music like BookTok, at least not in the traditional sense. I'm referring to the music that goes viral on TikTok and subsequently becomes a driving force in the music industry. Songs like ABCDEFU by Gayle and Billie Eilish by Armani White. Songs like these explode on TikTok, but only a short snippet is actually retained in the cultural mind's eye. Although Dan Waitley notes that 67% of TikTok users seek out songs they heard first on TikTok, there's still an interesting pattern of songs going viral, fans only knowing the viral 10-second chorus, and going out to the concerts, not knowing the lyrics, to just stand in silence the rest of the time. And this isn't a pretentious thing, this is more of a, that's kind of funny thing. It mainly just sucks for the artists who are written off as incapable of building strong, lasting connections with the people who made the song go viral in the first place. Steve Lacy, who has a hit song on TikTok named Bad Habits, is a great example of this. Lacy has been in the industry for a surprisingly long time, and I say surprising because he's only 24. He's produced for artists like Solange, Mac Miller, and he's also co-wrote for artists like Kendrick Lamar and Chloe and Halle. In the eyes of TikTok, though, he's just that bad habit singer, and apparently barely even that. So he's on tour, I think, and he recently held a concert where he let the crowd sing along to Bad Habit, and the
way nobody sang the next verse embarrassing as.
It was like being forced to sit through that Lorde a cappella concert video again. Like, please spare me. I am my mother's child. The larger conversation that I think can be had about booktok and musictok, perhaps even TikTok as a whole, is the fact that everything there is made for quick digestion. 15-second videos, fickle book phases, viral snippets of songs that don't exceed a minute. We talk a lot about microtrends for fashion, but what if microtrends for entertainment as a whole are becoming more and more plausible under this social media model? And not only that, but microtrends for personalities. Everything, especially in the internet age of curated identities, is a personality trait. Reading Colleen Hoover books has become one. Aesthetics, cooking, listening to music, they're not so much hobbies as they are things that you use to define yourself and others by. Do people go to Steve Lacy concerts just to throw their cameras at his face and sing along for 5 seconds to a TikTok chorus because they respect and appreciate his work? Or because it seems trendy right now? What with his TikTok success? Do people make Colleen Hoover a large part of their internet persona because they genuinely feel connected to her discussion of baby balls, or because the hashtag has billions of views? Colleen Hoover's hashtags, not the baby balls. Because the trends of these industries are rapidly changing, especially on TikTok, especially on social media as a whole, people who are vulnerable to shifts like this constantly have to change these aspects of their personalities. These past 2 years, Colleen Hoover has been the dominating book personality for some readers. Soon it might be the person who wrote the Voldemort fanfiction, who knows, but I think the time frame for these fluctuations are going to get shorter and shorter and shorter. People are going to rapidly change how they view themselves, the things they like, the communities they are a part of, based on whatever is most popular on TikTok that week. And in fact, I think it's already happening, and it has been for some time. I'm not saying this because I hate young people and think they're vapid. I'm still young, by the way, but because I've already seen it happen in other communities like fashion and like aesthetics. BookTok and musictok are simply following the same model as their forefathers. Something in Elias Leeds' article stood out to me in terms of rapid creation and microtrends. A senior executive at a major label. Sure. Anyways, the executive discusses how in this rapid entertainment industry, the criteria for creating viral art has become a lot harder, at least when it comes to making a lasting impact. It used to be that you released an album, got Rolling Stone to review it, got on tour, got on late night TV, and that was how you broke. It was 4 or 5 things. Now you need 4 or 5 things a week, or at least a month, or else your streams don't go up. Because everything is so fast-paced, people have to keep up with the endless changes, shifts, and motions of trending personality traits. You have to remain marketable constantly. Your personality has to be marketable, your interests, your hobbies, your face, even if you aren't an influencer or artist. And this is what I find so exhausting about my job. This constant rush to stay relevant, to have numbers that mean something, to be meaningful enough on the internet that you're not swallowed up by this quickly changing sort of atmosphere. This isn't solely booktok or musictok's fault. They aren't single-handedly bringing down art. First, I think we need to criticize ourselves. Booktok and musictok don't exist in this parallel universe where it's run by itself. It's strengthened and given power by its audience. But more than anything, I think our dependence on curated and manufactured personalities, this dependence on rapidity, just non-stop, along with our constantly shifting goalpost for what makes something meaningful in art, is what's tanking us. This goes in tandem with what a subscriber described in their tow response. It's not that booktok and musictok are tainting the media industry, it's that the media industry is an industry in the first place. At the end of the day, money is what ruins art. Capitalism is what ruins art. The media industry being an industry at all is what ruins art. It's an unfortunate truth because artists should be able to make a living off of their art and still make something meaningful. But it becomes difficult when you have to create something that people will pay for and have to advertise your art as a product. I think TikTok as a whole has its strengths. It's funny. It gives artists a platform to share their work and sometimes even gives them a door to break into the industry with. The app also certainly has its flaws, as we've discussed. I don't think it's easy to boil it down to good or bad. Just like everything else on this planet, just like you and just like me, I think it sits at a morally ambiguous intersection. I want this video to be more of a conversation starter, and I think it would be a good companion to my teenage dream video and my social media curation video, in the way that so many different factors come together to paint this bleak image of consumption, capitalism, and the sort of internetification of art. So check those out if you haven't already, and check out my last video because I like it a lot and YouTube is trying to smite me. Thanks for watching. If you want to support me, you can find me elsewhere on the internet, like my second channel, linked in the description. You can also comment down below and give this video a like if it was something you're interested in. Thank you so much for watching. I appreciate you lots. Love you. Bye. This is in the YA romance realm. This is in the YA romance realm. Oh my god. This is in the YA romance. I can't say that without having a country accent. Is that sexual? Just wherever you think artistically is the best place. Bars? Not that rhyming. Where are you?
There's a lot of good.
Stop looking like that.
Like
Okay.
what?
Okay.
Like a
So
fiend? Did you get glue on this?
probably. Oh yeah, I was using it to roll.
You're insane. That's hot and disgusting.
I was touching my fingers with it, so it was that or my fingers. So I thought you were gonna spray me.
Oh, I thought it was a practice run.
Oh no,
Okay.
it wasn't.
Alright, let's do
It
another
wasn't.
practice run. Let's do another run.
No, we don't need another practice
Well,
run.
I want to make sure.
Oh, you also threaten. It's like the algorithm is like, if you don't get to the point like in 5 seconds, we're gonna nuke you, the channel, and the dog. And I'm like, well, I don't have a dog, but you like keep spraying me. So does that sound weird?
And the dog?
Yeah, like just as a joke, because I don't have a dog.
Oh. That's
He
weird.
doesn't think I'm funny. That's why that silence was there, that pure
I
silence.
thought you were gonna do like a Shadow Realm reference.
I don't know what that means. Are you my manager? Like,
No.
yeah, spray me, and then pause so I can like not drown, and then